9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
Manchester
1,
United have
0.
reached the promised land.
Good morning, everybody. How are we doing? A little bit early, actually on time. Well, technically different time today, but I'm not 3 minutes late, fashionably late, like the bride. Am I the bride? Don't really know. But look, we're going to talk about the fixtures that are being released today. They are being released in T-minus 5 minutes time. Who will Erik Ten Hag get in his first game in the Premier League as Manchester United manager? When do we play Liverpool away? When's the Manchester derby? What are the games that are going to be around the Europa League ties when we're going to be playing 3 games a week? We'll run through it all. It's all going to be released. How are you all doing this morning? I know you're all a bit pissed off and frustrated about the transfers. Throughout the show, look, normally we're live at 9:30 every morning. What I do is I run through all the latest transfer news with you. Today, it's going to be focused on the Premier League, focused on the fixtures and focused on next season. But at the same time, throughout the show, I'm going to be taking a look at all the latest transfer news. We're going to talk about Anthony. We're going to talk about Yuri and Timber, Frankie de Jong, James Garner, Dean Henderson, Andreas Pereira. Lots and lots is going to be going on this morning, and we're going to run through all the fixtures. James, first time this man is early. Technically, well, yeah, I suppose you can. Look, who do you want as the first fixture? There's been leaks coming out that it might be Brighton. I mean, if you remember, every single season, there's some sort of leak. But the leaks are wrong 9 out of 10 times. But let's find out, eh? Where are you watching from? I'll try and give you some shout-outs throughout the entire stream. Good morning to you, Michael, from Dublin. Ola Sula saying it's good to know you can be early. I can be early. Don't worry about that. I just keep you waiting. But look, I think it'll be nice to maybe move on from the not move on, but have a little distraction from the frustrations of our transfer window so far, to look towards next season and maybe get a little bit of excitement, build a little bit of excitement. Peter saying, I don't want Newcastle. I don't know why you wouldn't want Newcastle. Actually, no, I have no idea who Newcastle are going to have this season. They're probably going to have a cracking team, aren't they? Love the polo, says Sigmund. Let me know where it's from. I'll try and drop you a DM. But look, I'm excited, man. Paul, are you watching from Belfast? Good morning to you, Bruce. What are the members we've got down here? As always, we've got Matt. Good morning to you, Matt. Jigar, I can see you there, sir. Peter, Pushbinder, Ray, Sig, lots and lots of you joining in. Good morning to all of you. Apologies if you are not used to joining in early and you've missed the start of the stream. It is what it is. The Premier League fixtures are getting released at 9 a.m. I'm looking forward to it, man. Of course, I'm looking forward to next season. Of course, I've got frustrations about what's happened so far in the transfer window. And as I said, like I do every morning, we will speak about all the transfer news. So don't worry about that. You don't have to spam about that in the comments. I will get onto that as the show goes on. But the fixtures are a minute away from being released. I don't really care. I'll be honest, I don't really care who we've got the first game of the season. I think in an ideal world, what you probably look at is like an eased way in to the games. So you don't really want Ten Hag to be facing Liverpool, City or Chelsea away in the first 6 fixtures, something like that. At home, might be a different ball game altogether. Then you've got the games in the Europa League. This is something that's worth considering. Here are the group stage games. So we've got 8th, 15th of September, 6th and 13th of October, and 7th, 27th. So we're going to be playing 3 games a week in those weeks. It'll be interesting to see what fixtures we've got in and around those as well. Richie, I can see you down there joining as a member, my friend. Where are you there? Nice to see you there. Where are you watching from, Rich? I'll try and give you a shout out, sir. Playing Swansea. I don't think we're playing Swansea, given that, they're not in the Premier League. But Peter, you're saying it's a good distraction from the transfer window. I kind of think so as well. But look, the fixtures are going to be out in 1 minute's time, and I will bring them on screen for you as and when they happen. I'm looking forward to it. As I said, ultimately, it doesn't matter. The majority of the games, it doesn't matter, but momentum can be built and lost according to what your fixtures are. What's our running going to be? What's our first 5 games going to be? What's our games going to be around the festive period? Around the World Cup. That's something to really consider, right? The fixtures around the World Cup, I don't really know. I think the first game of the World Cup is what is it? 18th of November? I think it's the 18th of November. Something like that. Right, here we go. It's 9 o'clock now. So let me refresh the Premier League website. Let me refresh Man United's official website. And let me see who we got. United's 2022-20 Premier. Is this it now? There we go. We're up. We're good. And I'll tell you what. fucking hell. For the first time in a long time, the leaks were actually correct. Here we go. These are the fixtures. They have been released. Let's run through them together, and we'll do it month by month, all right? I apologize if I don't head down to the comments. Myth Kalarish, I can see you joining there. Nice to see you there, buddy. Where are you watching from? I won't look at the comments for the next minute or so. Let me just run through the fixtures with you. So, Erik Ten Hag kicks off his first Premier League campaign with a home game against Brighton. Let's be honest, that works out quite well. Brentford away and then Liverpool at home in the third game of the season. Wow. That is a strong start for Erik Ten Hag. Liverpool in the third game of the season. Then we play Southampton away and Leicester away. 3 away games in the first month for Erik Ten Hag. Let's go through this one by one. Then we've got Arsenal at home to kick off September. Palace away, following it up. Leeds at home, and that's in September. Now, remember here, as I said, if we head over here, that's going to be in and around the Europa League games. So on the 8th of September, we're going to play match day 1. That's stuck in between Arsenal and Palace. And then the second one stuck between Palace and Leeds. That's not too bad. Next month, let's go down. October, City away. Oh, wow. Okay, it's a strong start to October. Everton away. Wow. Newcastle at home. Tottenham at home. And fuck me, Chelsea away as well. You kidding me? October. My God, that's sandwiched in between 2 Europa League games as well, isn't it? Let me go over here and pull this one up. 6th, 4. My fucking hell. October's going to kill us. 6th of October, 13th of October, and 27th of October. Slapped around 5 Premier League games. My word. It's probably because they're going to be shoving loads of games in because of the World Cup, sorry. Wow. October is going to be brutal. November, let's go down. Let's bring it all up. November, of course, 5th and the 12th. That's because the World Cup is on. Then you got back on Boxing Day. We play Nottingham Forest at home on Boxing Day. And Wolves away on New Year's Eve. I've got a friend, Bao, who lives in Wolves. That's going to be the dream fixture for him, surely. Wolves away. Bao, you lucky man. But that's going to be our games in November and December. But look at that October, ladies and gents. That is going to be where we talk about the strength in depth in a squad. Wow. Look at October. And remember, there's 3 Europa League games inside that period too. Let's go down to January. I imagine January is going to be very busy, right? Because they're going to be making up for lost time, no? January, Bournemouth. Then we get City and Arsenal within the space of a week. City at home and then Arsenal away. We go down to February. Okay, February is on paper a generous set of fixtures, if you want to call it that. Palace at home, Leeds away, Leicester at home, and then Brentford at home, which means there's still some tough games to play going into the running. Let's have a look. Well, there's the toughest for you. March the 4th, probably the game where everybody looks towards at the start of the season. That's near my birthday. My birthday's 13th of March. Someone sort me a Liverpool away brief. That would be nice. Never made it before. Liverpool away on March the 4th. That's the big one, right? That's the big one. And then we go down to April. What's the running looking like? Oh, geez, man. The running, yes, because they've had to slam the fixtures in. April's going to be crazy. Newcastle away, Everton at home, Forest away, Chelsea at home, Spurs away. Both games within the space of 3 days. No doubt, by the way, no doubt that these are all going to be changed because of TV, all right? The games won't exactly happen on these days. They may be switched a day before or a day after, according to what TV wants to do. But April, another busy, busy month. And May, it's also going to be busy. And the season finishes later, I do believe. So let me have a look down here. 4 games in May. West Ham, Wolves, Bournemouth, and Fulham. Again, that's generous for Manchester United. It's a generous run-in to finish the season. West Ham away, not particularly enjoyable, but let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. Pisces gang indeed, Daisy. Nice to see you there. And you're saying, important question. How many players have we got going to the World Cup? No idea. But ladies and gents, I think we all can see what the big talking point from that fixture release is. That month is brutal. City and Chelsea away and Everton away. And then Newcastle, Spurs and West Ham wrapped around these games. Let's have a look at this. So the first game here we got on the 6th of October. So we're going to have City, then a Europa League game, then Everton away. And then what have we got? We've got 13th of October. And then, so in between Everton away and Newcastle at home, we're going to have another Europa League game. Then on the 27th of October, in between Chelsea away and West Ham at home, we've got another 3. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 8. That can't be right, surely. 8 games in October. A game less than every 4 days for an entire month. Jesus, that's going to be brutal. I mean, that's because of the World. Obviously, it's because of the World Cup. But my God, can they really get away with that? Let me try and pull up some other reaction that's happening all over social at the moment. You can let me know what you think about all the fixtures in the comments. By the way, I've decided I'm going to do a giveaway in this stream. Why not? I've got some of these bad boys. Let me pull this up full screen. I've got some of these bad boys to give away. I'm going to give one away today. It's the 1992 make. It's not from the mega store. They're getting no money from this. I've not decided why or how I'm going to give it away. So if you become a member, if you drop a like on the video, if you send in a comment, fire in a super chat, do whatever you want. I'm just going to choose one person completely at random for no particular reason. I don't know why, but I fancy doing a giveaway today. So that's me to you. As I said, I always try and help you guys. Not help you guys, but try and give back to the community that you're helping me build. Let me go over here and see if there's any. Oh, my God. That is just, I can't get my head around that. I really, really can't get my head around that month. City, Everton, Chelsea, Spurs. It's not as if we've just got like 5 fixtures there. You've got City, Spurs, and Chelsea, and Everton away, and Newcastle. Luckily, that's not Newcastle away as well. My God. My word. Go down here and say, Ray, look, you're not wrong there, my friend. We do need players desperately. We needed players anyway. When you look at a fixture list like that, that's when, geez. And of course, look, as Young points out there, we're going to get a really, really early in the. We keep talking about November there. Sorry, October there, but I am ignoring our first. Let's go back and let's talk about our first 5 games. What's your reaction to our first 5 games, ladies and gents? We've got Brighton at home. It's on paper, it's a favourable start for Erik Ten Hag, but you know we've had bad experiences against Brighton in recent years for sure. Let's not talk about what happened away at Brighton last year. My word, my God. Brighton and Brentford to start the season. Again, we know what happened to Brentford last season. We got played off the park for the first 45, second 45, much, much better. And then we won. But Liverpool at home on the 3rd game of the season. That's really going to be where I suppose you get the baptism of fire for Erik Ten Hag. We have to be grateful in some sense that that's a home fixture and not an away fixture. If that was Anfield away in his 3rd game as manager, because this Ten Hag system will take time. This Ten Hag system will really, really take time to settle into this squad. It won't happen overnight. There will be speed bumps. There will be painful points. But Liverpool at home. And looking at those first 5 fixtures, right? Type your numbers down below. How many points do you think we can get? And be realistic. Don't just say 15 and don't just say 0. How many points do you genuinely see Manchester United getting from those 5 games? Brentford at home, Brighton at home, Brentford away, Liverpool at home, Southampton away, and Leicester City away from home. Gungshi, nice to see you there, buddy. Saying we need new players pronto. Surely our first signing can't be that far off. I hope not, my friend Gungshi. I really hope not, because look, I was about to say Louis van Gaal there. Erik Ten Hag is going to be back in 11 days. Back in 11 days to start pre-season with no new signings and no players who have been sold either. Players who have left, yes, their contracts have expired, but nothing, no real movement in terms of things that actually had to be done rather than things that were happening naturally. Let me go down here and see what you're thinking. Richie, what you're saying, sir? And I see there's a new member. 10 points. We should be looking for 3 wins and a draw. A couple of you, you're saying that 10 points down there. You're not feeling too chipper down there. 6 points, 8 points, 10, hardly 6. Sanka, you're going for 10. 10, 11, says Bruce. Let me go down there and give my predictions. Opening game of the season, you have to back Manchester. This isn't a case of arrogance anymore. This is just a case of, if we are going towards where we want to be, we have to look at these fixtures. Brighton at home, that's got to be 3 points for Manchester United. We have to match that. It's not an arrogant way, but you have to be confident going into these games rather than thinking they could be banana skins that we might slip up on. But Brighton at home, you've got to be back in 3 points there. Brentford away, that won't be easy, man. That will be an intense game and probably a pretty good prelude to Liverpool at home. Let's be honest. Brentford play not a similar sort of style, but they play a very intense style. We nearly fell apart away from home last time. So that would be a good way, I would say, to warm up that United squad for that game against Liverpool. I back us for the Brighton win. I think Brentford will come away with a draw. just because I think it will probably surprise Erik Ten Hag. It will probably surprise some players. I think so anyway. I'm going to back it for a draw, and I can't look at Liverpool at anything but a loss at this moment in time because I've seen how far apart we are. Liverpool has to be a game where if we get a result, I think it will surprise us. We're obviously going to start seeing patterns emerge during pre-season. I'm looking forward to pre-season. I think pre-season is typically a time. Let's be honest, it's a grand old waste of time, the majority of the time. But because Ten Hag's got a genuine system, I'm really curious to see how that works in pre-season. There will be patterns that we see built in pre-season that will follow through into Manchester United's games. But that game against Liverpool at home, right now, I can't do anything apart from back a Liverpool win because of how Manchester United have been and because of how far away we were in that 9-0 last season. Jesus, let's not even talk about that. 9-0 overall, of course, in aggregate. So I've got to say nothing from that one. So I'm saying 4 points from the opening 2. Southampton away, we should be winning that, man. Southampton are just not that team they used to be anymore. Leicester away, again, I think 10 points, sod it. I'm going 10 points as well. I think 10 points is a fair estimate. 10 points would be a very good opening 5 games. If Erik Ten Hag can come away from those 5 games with 3 wins, a draw, and a defeat, that would be a good start to the season for him. Let me go down here and see what you're saying. Daisy gets to United live for the first time in 19 years. Last time I saw United, Ronaldo was playing for us. Well, Ronaldo was still playing for us. Look at that. Let me go down here. Unfortunately, some of the fans, no one's going to be Erik Ten Hag out after we lose to Liverpool. People, let's be honest. Let's be honest. Craig Dawson to snap Haaland first game 2-1. Ross Baker coming in with the odds there. I think, as usual, the last few years, a draw versus Liverpool is a good result for us. It is. We are just that far off Liverpool and City, and it's not an acceptance of standards. It's a fucking dose of reality. They're so far ahead of us. And unless Erik Ten Hag can work miracles very quickly, that game against Liverpool will come a little bit too early for his system to be embedded inside this squad. And again, this is why it's so important we get transfers done quick and transfers done early, right? Imagine us getting all 15 points. It would be incredible, but I don't think that's going to happen. September, if we go down here, Arsenal at home, Palace away, Leeds at home. You could get 9 points there. You could absolutely get 9 points. Obviously, we lost against Arsenal away. We beat Arsenal at home. That was Michael Carrick, wasn't it? Crystal Palace away, we lost last game of the season. Leeds at home. That was obviously the opening fixture last season. We pumped them 5-1. Don't know. Emil, what are you saying, sir? We will lose to Liverpool, but I hope it isn't a smashing this time. That's all Manchester United fans can hope for is a competitive edge, a new, genuine competitive edge in all games against City and all games against Liverpool. Stepping stones, right? Let's not go into next season expecting or really genuinely hoping that we're going to pump or beat Liverpool or City. They're 35 points away from us. They're 34 points away from us. What we need next season is to maintain a competitive edge in every single fixture. Every single fixture. And that will probably mean that season is a success in the Premier League. Anuj, nice to see you there, buddy. Crazy fixtures in October and April. Absolutely. For sure it is. Hoping for Núñez to flop. We're all hoping for Núñez to flop. We're all hoping for Haaland to flop. In reality, they probably won't. They probably won't. And that's just the truth. Adam, you're saying September, 9 points. Okay, everybody get your predictions down here. I'm actually going to go for... I'll go for 7. I reckon 7 points there. I'm backing us to beat Leeds at home. I think out of all those 3 fixtures, Leeds at home is the one I would back us to win. Saw Jesse Marshall probably having playing better than Bielsa did when they played us first game of last season, but I'm still backing us to beat Leeds at home. Arsenal at home, again, I'm also backing that. I probably put the draw down there as Crystal Palace away. Now, is there an international break in September? I've only got 3 games there. I'm presuming there is, and there might be one before the World Cup starts in November. You're going 5 points in. You're going 9 points. You're going 7. Ray, 9 points is blessed. 7 down there. 7 for Sushant. Sigmund, no, absolutely no justification feeling for this, but I'm ready for these players to fight and show their worth. I think we all are. We all want to see some sort of fight. My God, it's been a long, long time since we saw any really genuine fight. genuine fight in these United players. Simon, he's saying, let's not waste a dream of another failing. We need to keep those for a good transfer window to start the season. I'll speak about transfers as the video goes on, but don't worry about that. I personally think, I reckon 7 points. I reckon 7 points from that. Jeez, am I really going to back us there? I'm going to back us for 10, 17 points by the end of September. October. I mean, good luck trying to predict this, ladies and gents. Seriously, good luck trying to predict that. Remember that we've got those 5 games and we've got those 3 games. We've genuinely got 8 games in October. How's that even going to be possible? I mean, even with the strongest of squads and given the gap, we're playing in the Europa League, by the way. We might end up in fucking Kazakhstan, Greece, and I don't know, the outskirts of Russia for our 3 games. Apparently, there's Nations League in September. There you go. 8 games in October. Honestly, there's 5 games there. No, 6 games. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't even fucking count. There's 9 games. 1, 2. There's so many games there. I can't count properly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 9 games. That's mad. How? There's 9 games in October. There's 6 in the Premier League, a total of 18 points max. How many do you think United are going to get from that? We've got City away, Everton away, Chelsea away. They're 3 of the toughest away games of the season. Goodison Park's always been a bogey ground for us. Has been for a long, long time. City away, don't have to tell you about that. Chelsea away, apart from the fact that Solskjaer made that his playground. But 9 games. Couple of super chats flying in here. Let me read those out before I quickly move on. Look, you're saying this season for me is just about a clear system of playing consistency. Hopefully our squad is big enough to handle the congested schedule. You spot on there, look, for me, that's what, as I said, competitive edge. Every single Premier League game week, I want to go in that and come on here in a match reaction and say, look, United might not have had enough in that game, but look, we still saw the patterns. We still saw the fight. Rather than coming on going, what the fuck was that? I don't want to do that at any point this season, either against Bournemouth or City. Every single game, we need that competitive edge. Joseph, I'm not sure trimming the squad too far will be advisable based on the condensed fixture list unless we start buying new players straight away. We were always going to be releasing those, 5 players? I still think that we should be releasing some more players. And then those gaps should be bolstered by academy players and new signings. It's not as if we didn't know we needed new signings, but going and seeing that, if we don't make new signings, the season we could find ourselves like 10, 11, 12 points off top. Probably more than that by the end of October if we don't go well. Okay, October, fans' patience will be tested, Vicky. Yeah, you're not wrong there. MAH, you're saying 10 points. Scott, you're saying this is the season that youngsters break through. I think so as well. 9 points in October. So a maximum of 18 points. You're going 9 points. 7 to 8 points. 12 points minimum. Jeez, Divesh is drinking early morning. 8 points. Joey, you're saying 10. You're going 15. Let me go and run through my predictions. Let's have a look. City away. Again, sorry, United, but I can't predict anything but a loss unless I'm very surprised. Best result we can hope for there is a draw. Let's be completely honest. Again, not an acceptance of standards. It's a dose of reality. That's where City are. That's where United are. That's the gap that has to change. You have to shift. The shift has to happen. Everton away. I mean, they were shit this season. You would imagine they're going to be better next season under Lampard. They're probably going to go for a draw there. Newcastle at home. Again, it's easier just to look at United and just expect more at home. In reality, over the last few years, certainly under Solskjaer, we were better away from home. I hope that Erik Ten Hag changes that. The Old Trafford, because if it will make such a big difference to Erik Ten Hag this season if Old Trafford can become a place where teams don't particularly want to come anymore. Hasn't been like that for years. But looking at Newcastle at home, yes, Newcastle are going to have a fantastic team compared to what they had last year. But you've got to back United for the 3 points there. Spurs at home, I've got no idea what to predict there. Spurs, as they showed with their game away at Anfield, as they showed all season, they're going to be a decent team. Fuck, that's hard. You've got to go for a draw there. Chelsea away. Sod it, we're beating Chelsea away. How about that? Heard it here first. West Ham at home. Again, you got, my God, that is such a stupid month. It's not as if you've got like a City game wrapped around Bournemouth and Forest. You've got City, Everton, a new Newcastle team, which will be spending big this summer, a new Spurs team, which are investing for Antonio Conte, a Chelsea team who are no doubt going to spend big when the money comes in, and a West Ham team who have been incredible over the last couple of years. I've got to back us, unfortunately, to lose to City, A draw Everton, beat Newcastle, that's 4 points. 5 points a draw there, 8 points. I'm going for 11 points. There you go. I've got my points total. 11 points. Mud, you're saying until United sign someone in the transfer window, it'll be a tough first 5 fixtures against all of them, not only Liverpool. And again, if you're talking about, look, the transfer window, again, we've seen United do this so often, haven't we, right? The transfer window closes, was the end of is it the end of September? No. Transfer, I think it closed on the 1st September. Transfer window 2022 Premier League closes 31st of August, I presume, right? It closes at 11 o'clock on the 1st of September. So Manchester United could technically make signings in August, right? But if we fuck up and we wait, then we're taking something away from Erik Ten Hag. We're taking something away from our squad for the Brentford game and for that Liverpool game. If we don't make signings early and we delay and we try to make signings during the month of August, there's 5 games you're going to affect for Erik Ten Hag. And the Arsenal game, if you sign a player on deadline day, he's not exactly going to be settled in for the game against Arsenal, is he? This is the importance of getting deals done before the season starts. It needs to happen. It really needs to happen because of how that Liverpool game, man, geez, you can't take anything away from him there. Go to November, of course, 2 games. Look at that. Crazy. The fixture period is normally when it's mad, but this season is when it's all quiet on the Western Front. No games between the 12th of November and the 26th of December because of the World Cup. I think the World Cup finishes on the 18th of December, if I'm correct. Then 8 days later, play Nottingham Forest at home, then Wolves away. Decent enough. That's friendly enough to United. But Jesus Christ, that's not. I'll tell you what, look, as I said, this is going to be a normal show soon. I'm going to continue running through the fixtures for a little bit more. I'm enjoying the engagement. But I've got lots of transfer news that we will be speaking about. So make sure you don't leave. And as I said, I'm going to be just choosing one random person. I've no idea why or who, but I'm going to choose somebody to give that away to by the end of the stream. Let's go back to the Premier League fixtures. Let's pull them up again. After the World Cup. Oh, dear. Sorry about that. Pull them up full screen. After the World Cup, Bournemouth, City and Arsenal in January. 3 points against Bournemouth. Anything else, that's a failure. You got hope for a draw against City and hope to win against Arsenal, but I reckon 5 points there. I reckon 5 points. February, you've got to have 3 points. You got to hope for 3 points, but Leeds will probably have a bit more about themselves. Let's go for a draw there. And again, I'm going 10 points there. Jeez, I am really hopeful. When you say these things and you come here and you go, it just makes you realize, wow, the expectations you have going into the season. Almost, you're looking at that and you're going, Palace at home, Leeds away, Leicester at home, Brentford at home. On paper, it's so easy to say 10 points there. In reality, when February comes around and we've got injuries to Bruno and injuries to Varane, and I don't know, we've got a new debutant playing, then maybe it's going to be far more difficult. But yeah, Ross Baker, you're right. Over the last couple of seasons, it has been a fucking 3 points. We've got to make sure that we get that 3 points against Leeds. That's what I think so anyway. March, Liverpool away. Oh, that game last season, man. Both games against Liverpool last season. Isn't it amazing how the brain's just got this ability to just park bad memories for you? It's like your brain protects you. Because I can remember. Now that I'm talking about it, I can remember the 5-0 at Old Trafford, the Salah hat-trick, and I can remember the 4-0 at Liverpool away. It's been like just going to the slaughter. Well, you know what's coming. There's just this sense of inevitability, Mr. Anderson, that takes over every time you go to Anfield in the last few years. Hopefully that won't happen here. Mark, you're going 9 points in March. He's feeling chipper this morning, isn't he? Daisy saying you're worried about injuries with the World Cup. Hey, look, you're not wrong there. We all are. I can see the word traumatized and the word Liverpool next to each other. Here's a random one. Sam, do you wish that United threw back? That is a random one. Zaha. Zaha was really unfortunate that Fergie left. Van Persie was unfortunate that Fergie left. Nick Powell was probably unfortunate that Fergie left as well. There's a few signings, Kagawa as well. A few signings towards the end of Fergie's reign that were just, it's unfortunate. Bad timing. Is what it is. Remember Pogba limping off against... Oh, that was a... I don't want to talk about Pogba. I just can't be asked. Newcastle, I mean, that's not an easy month either. You're probably going to be playing Nottingham Forest away when they're down in a relegation scrap, realistically. Newcastle away, never particularly easy, but you don't know how they're going to be, I suppose. That's quite a tough, that's 6 fucking fixtures. I've no idea what to expect. The World Cup has really caused some chaos here. 2 months with 6 fixtures in. That's mad, isn't it? And if you needed squad strength and squad depth every year, what do you need this year? Man, Sam, look, I don't like to sort of go a bit over the top with these sorts of comments, but I think you're probably right now, simply because you've got 18 points available right there. 18 points in the space of 1 month. 6 games. It really is going to be make or break by that point, isn't it? Gungshu, what are you saying? Ronaldo will be off to the World Cup, so we're going to need someone to take his place for those end-of-year fixtures. I wonder if we'll have someone new by then. Now, that is an excellent comment there from Gungshu, because if there's anybody who's going to struggle most with that heavy fixture list, surely it's going to be Cristiano Ronaldo. That will most likely, he might surprise us, but it's most likely going to be Ronaldo's last World Cup. He is going to go full tilt. He is going to go 150% in every single one of those games for Portugal, because he might be able to win the World Cup with Portugal. That's what he'll be thinking, right? He's going to come back absolutely KO'd. He's going to come back, and United are going to have to look at those 2 fixtures in December and go, right, we're doing these without Ronaldo. Ronaldo, you can come back after the new year. Ronaldo, you can have a break for those 2 festive fixture games. Helgen, you're probably right here. Look, the youth should be rubbing their hands together. There's genuine opportunities that will come this season. There has to be, because I don't think we'll make enough. I don't think we can physically make enough signings to make our squad strong enough. I think even every squad will be tested with a fixture pile up like that. All this fixture congestion makes for a tired World Cup. It depends which way you look at it. It's going to certainly make for a tired January. Luckily, we've only got 3 games. Luckily, we've only got City and fucking Arsenal in that month. My God. 5 subs are great. That's definitely will help as well. Ericsson will find it hard, says Steve. I think everybody will find it hard, my friend. Everybody will find it. There won't be one player that will walk through this. Even any player who's even got a lot of energy will struggle. But that's the fixtures, right? We'll run on and we'll talk about transfers now, because I know that's what you all want to talk about. It's what is most important. But the main talking points. Erik Ten Hag is facing Liverpool in his 3rd game as manager. We've got Brighton to kick off the season. That's a generous fixture. We have to look at that with confidence and go, let's set the tone. Let's go, baby. 3 points at Old Trafford. Start the season off well. Kind of like we started off the season off well by beating Leeds, but then we all collapsed. Let's ignore that. Let's hope for something better. Brighton to kick off the season. Liverpool 3rd game. Luckily, it's at home. If it was away, you'd expect us to get pumped. But then that in October, I've never seen anything like that. And you probably won't ever see anything like that again in the Premier League, because of the World Cup, the Winter World Cup, because Qatar paid the millions and the millions and the millions. We've been forced to have this schedule in the Premier League. It's always been intense physically for the players, but that, alongside 3 Europa League games, is 9 fixtures in October. I can't have a day off in October. My word. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. I know Brighton just battered us, but I know. Different season, different team, different manager. That was the end of something horrible. This is hopefully the start of something new. I'm not going to take any performances from last season and take that into this season mentally, because you can't. It's going to be a new manager, a new system, fresh players, a new beginning. That's the brilliance of football. Every year, it allows you to renew your hope. It allows you to go, well, what if this is different this year? That's what football does. That is what football does. I don't think it will be a massively different team, but it should be a massively different team in how they play. So it might be the same 7 or 8 players with hopefully some new signings in, but we will play like a different team. We really, really will. Might affect ticket sales. I don't know. Chet down there asking about Barcelona. Look, I will run through the transfer news. This is a bit... No, I can't be asked to run through that, actually. I'll run through the transfer news with you now. We'll start with De Jong. We'll then move on to Anthony. We'll talk about Yuri and Timber. We will talk about James Garner, Dean Henderson, and Andreas Pereira. There will be lots and lots for us to discuss this morning. It's not just about the transfers. As I said, I haven't decided yet, but make sure you become if you can't win it unless you're a subscriber. That's the only thing I would say. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be giving one of these away. And I'm not going to tell you what's under my desk, but I probably will tell you right now. I've got 10 of these, right? I've got a bit generous. I've got a bit excited. I've got 10 of those to give away. And I don't know when I'm going to do it. But look, I'm going to. So make sure you subscribe if you're new. This fan base will turn very quickly if it's the same squad. I wouldn't say it won't be the same squad. As I said, the attitude has to be substantially different and will be, in my opinion, substantially different to what we've seen. Now, I said I'm not going to be leading with any sort of headlines about Frankie de Jong, and I stand by that, but I will speak about Frankie de Jong. Joseph, what you're saying here, sir, you're saying slightly off topic, but what's with that? What's the best that an Italian team will win the champion? What's the bet? Sorry, that an Italian team will win the Champions League due to Italy missing out on the World Cup. It's a very good shout. I'll tell you what, Joseph, you've been very generous with the super chats, my friend. I'll give you this, and hopefully it'll cheer you up in hospital, right? Slide into my DMs on Twitter or Instagram, whatever's good for you. Give me an address, and I'll get this posted out to you. Hopefully it'll make you feel better. And as I said, thank you for continuing to support the channel. You help make this channel, all of you help make this channel a genuine community. I know some people say it's a community, and then it's not really. This is a community. So thank you very much, buddy, and give me a DM, and I'll get that shipped out to you. But let's head over here and let's go through this. I'm not saying I'm only choosing people who send in super chats, but Joseph's really supported the channel, so it's my way of giving back to him. I've given lots away, just like I gave 250 quid away to somebody who doesn't give a super chat in. So don't try and say that there's any favoritism here. It's about choosing lots of things, all right? So no one try and say there's any favoritism going on. But big up to you, Joe. But look, let's talk about Frankie de Jong, all right? There's not too much of an update today, but today might be the point where we get that update. And I'm sure you fucking heard that before, my word. Manchester United and Barcelona, according to Andy Minton, are still not close to doing a deal for Frankie de Jong. I mean, I'm bored of hearing that, but that's kind of the truth, really. That you've heard it enough times from Laurie Whitwell, David Ornstein, James Ducker, and now Andy Minton. Probably the four journalists I would trust the most when it comes to Manchester United, all saying the same thing. But this is why today might be a different day. This is from the official Barcelona website, and this is something I have said to you for quite a long time now. We knew this about a couple of weeks ago. That extraordinary assembly. I don't know why they called it extraordinary. Maybe that's just the title of it. Today is when Barcelona's delegate members choose what to do on the financial issues at the club. If we were to scroll down here and read in a little bit more detail, they're going to be choosing on these things here. Look, I've spoken to you about this quite a lot. They're going to be sorting that licensing and merchandising. They're going to be trying to sell up to a 50% stake in it. The TV rights, I don't think that will happen. I think that CVC deal is done. But it's this situation here that we might get an update now on Frankie de Jong. It all depends on what they agree. Now, one thing to understand about this Barcelona situation is if they raise, say, 250 million through these different sorts of financial actions, it doesn't mean all of a sudden they got 250 million they can add into their pot. They've got a 1 quarter rule when it comes to transfers. So if they were to sell Frankie de Jong for 100 million, they could only actually invest 25 million of that back into the squad as a 1 quarter rule. Now, I don't know how those rules apply to these financial levers they keep calling them. This thing like this magic lever you're going to push has got like 200 million in. There's a 500 million lever. There's a 200 million lever there as well. I don't know what they call it levers for, but that's the word that they keep using. We'll find out, I suppose, today whether Barcelona really are going to be in a position where they need to sell, or maybe it's going to be softened because of some of these economic levers. Maybe they're going to get some money in. So by the end of the day, I imagine there'll be an update on that. If there's any major update, I'll bring it to you on a live stream later today. And if not, we'll speak about that tomorrow morning. Ray, how you doing there, buddy? Nice to see you there joining. And Josh, nice to see you there joining in like half an hour late. Why are you some sort of part-time mod? Jeez. But no, look, I only went early today because the fixtures were released and I wanted to do it live with everyone here on the stream. So yeah, there is no update to give you on Frankie de Jong. Yuri and Timber, however, I don't know. Joni, you're saying it's a 1-3 rule, Sam, but it'll be 1-1 if they can raise 500 mil. How is I don't know. How would that work? I need to speak to somebody who's got a real understanding. I'm trying to speak to Dermot Corrigan from The Athletic, maybe Samuel Marsden. I need someone with a real understanding of exactly what these numbers will mean when they're released, because I think it'll be quite complicated. So I'll try and get that. But look, Jurrien Timber, this was the update yesterday from Mike Verwijge from The Telegraph, who, of course, is basically your number one source when it comes to Ajax-related news. He's saying Jurrien Timber's decision tends more and more towards staying at Ajax. He will now go on holiday where he can think more about his future, but the chances of him staying in Amsterdam are now pretty big. Now, Jurrien Timber, I think he's been a priority of Erik Ten Hag's, in the same way that Frankie de Jong has definitely been a priority. We already know that. That's why the bid's gone in. That's why we've been so aggressive with him. But Jurrien Timber, I would put him down as one as well. And I said this on Twitter last night, and I stand by it, the idea of it. I said, look, if Erik Ten Hag has prioritized the signings of Jurrien Timber and Frankie de Jong, and he ends up with neither this summer, that's bad news. That really is bad news. Erik Ten Hag, I went across to say this, right? I said, look, Erik Ten Hag set the tone at Manchester United, didn't he? After Ajax won the title, he was there on the day after. Instead of going to the Caribbean with the whole Ajax team, getting pissed, having mojitos, having sexies on the beach, maybe sex on the beach as well, I don't know. He started work at Manchester United. That set the tone for me, the tone of immediacy, the tone that he really felt like he needed to get a lot done. We've got 11 days now until the start of the preseason, and at this moment in time, Manchester United haven't done anything. When I say haven't done anything, we've done plenty, but we haven't signed any players. We haven't sold any players. You've obviously got Pogba, Mata, Matic, Lingard, and Cavani have all been released. Their contracts haven't been extended, and in that sense, I think that's quite a big positive, because I was still worried that there was going to be like a surprise extension in there somewhere. But there's no real movement on Dean Henderson. There is now. I'll run through that. But at this, up until when I posted this last night, there was no real movement on Henderson by Pereira Jones, Martial. And obviously, we were stuck in negotiations for De Jong. But what's been going on with the defensive midfielder? What's been going on with Jurrien Timber? What's been going on with Anthony? Again, there's updates to bring you there. We've got 11 days now until this preseason begins. It's not the preseason tour. That's just when Erik Ten Hag is going to be at Carrington working with the players who are there. And he would have wanted new signings in. It's not the be all and end all. It's more luxury than a luxury. It's an ideal situation that our transfers are done before he comes in. Hello, guys. Welcome aboard. But some of those players who we've been locked in negotiations with have been away on international duty. Maybe that's delayed it somewhat. I'm trying to make excuses here. I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm trying to think about why, as Ray says down here, why we've been dithering. I don't know. Mate, Conor Gallagher's a lovely player, but he's definitely going to be going back to Chelsea this year. How have United overlooked Basuma? I don't know. I'm going to presume that was a choice, because you can talk about the ongoing allegations against Basuma, but I don't think that would have stopped Manchester United from signing him. It didn't stop Spurs from signing. I don't think it would have stopped any club from signing him. It just seems like Spurs have got the leg up there, and 25 million seems very, very cheap. Paula, hey, I've spoken about Ibrahim Sangare in quite a lot of detail now. He's the only one that I've seen any real genuine links. There's lots of names that we've mentioned. Geez, you can talk about Tchouameni, Calvin Phillips, Yves Bissouma, Ibrahim Sangare, which I've talked about there, and there's a couple that I'm missing, but I can't remember. But at this particular moment in time, there's been no real movement on any of them. Ibrahim Sangare is the only one that we've got linked with, and that's why I spoke to Rick Elfrink from Eindhoven Daily. He said, look, we've got a 37 million euro release clause. Just United haven't gone anywhere near towards it yet. So, according to Mike Verwijge, Jurrien Timber may well be staying at Ajax this year, and that will be a problem for Manchester United. I think if we don't go for Jurrien Timber, I think the obvious name to go for is Pau Torres. Both players similar-ish. But Jurrien Timber, and people might be saying, look, why is Erik Ten Hag just looking towards Ajax or former Ajax players for people he wants to sign? Oh, it's lazy. You need to understand that Ten Hag is a system manager. that players have to fit that system. And to get players to fit that system requires a lot of molding. A lot of work goes into those players to make that system work. It's why Klopp took as long as he did to get his system in place. It's why Pep took as long as he did to make the system perfect. It's why Ten Hag will take a lot of time to get that system right at Manchester United. But when you get players like Timber coming in, you speed that process up. Frankie de Jong speeds that process up. If it was going to take 9 months, hypothetical here, I'm pulling numbers out of my head. If it was going to take 9 months for the Ten Hag system to get embedded at Manchester United, I think that 9 months gets reduced when you sign players like Timber and you sign players like Frankie de Jong, because the system will be easier to implement. Go over here and say, Matt, say, look, maybe you overestimated Erik Ten Hag's pull. Jurrien Timber's only 20 years old, man. I can understand if at this particular transfer window he decides to stay at Ajax just for another season. He's still only 20 years old. He's not at that point in his career. Frankie de Jong is a different conversation. And the only pull that we've got is when the pull from Barcelona is softened. If we're having like a tug of war with Barcelona, with Frankie de Jong in the middle, Barcelona are slowly reducing their grip, like Squid Game. I don't think there's going to be any deaths this time. Hope not, anyway. That's where we're at. And as I said, that will change probably over the next 48 hours. We will know exactly where we stand with Frankie de Jong. And maybe that will allow us to go more aggressively with other signings. But Jurrien Timber, according to Mike Vivage, is going to be closer to staying than leaving. Now, Steve, I've seen you in the comments here this morning. You're obviously not particularly happy chappy, mate. Been really going at Ten Hag. I'll answer this one. What are you saying? Klopp didn't buy former Dortmund players. Neither did Conte, neither did Pep buy former Barca players because they have broader knowledge of players. I mean, I don't know what it's like. Do you want to pick holes in Ten Hag before he's even signed as manager? Do you want to give fuel to people who want to slate the manager before he's our manager? Do you want to try and find a reason to poke him? Because that's what that is. Because those signings might be fucking fantastic. Absolutely fantastic for Manchester United. Would you still have that opinion? Oh, he's just lazy. Oh, he's just looking at former Ajax players. Conte's literally just signed Perisic. It's odd. As I said, this is if you want to try and find reasons to have a go at Ten Hag, him looking at former players isn't one of them, in my opinion. You might disagree with that. But when it comes to former players, here you go, Steve. You'll be happy with this one. Manchester United are expected to report themselves at Ajax for the signing of Antony. Again, this is from Mike Vivage. Ten Hag believes he is a fantastic player, but the price tag of Antony is quite high, which might not suit the budget of United. Antony's going to be no less than 50 million, I think, anyway. No less than 50 million. And again, Steve, you won't be happy at this because he's a former Ajax player, but you can see the obvious talents of him. And when you're comparing, I don't know, Dortmund, when you're comparing City and the infrastructures that those clubs have, Ajax don't have that infrastructure. Ajax always buy from within. Sorry, not buy from. They always train up their youngsters, and they typically don't particularly spend more than 20, 25 million on an individual. That's the way they operate. So they have to get talented youngsters and bring them up. I don't have a proper scouting. Well, I don't particularly think we've got a proper scouting system either. Antony is one that concerns me. I'll be completely honest. It's one that concerns me. I think on paper, yeah, I can see why we would bring Antony in. Because we need someone better in attack on that right wing, no doubt. I feel someone like Nkunku would offer more overall to what we need, especially when you're talking about those fixtures we've got coming up there. Look, let's head back to this. Let's not forget, we've got that coming up in October. We need somebody to supplement Cristiano Ronaldo. We've got 9 goddamn games. He won't play in the Europa League. Cool. But that's a game. There's a week's break there, 4 days there, 3 days there. It's a lot for Ronaldo to do just before he goes to the World Cup. And Antony is somebody who comes in and improves our options on the right wing. Absolutely does. But if we're going to be spending, you're looking at probably What do you think Ajax will ask for Anthony? You let me know that in the comments. How much do you think they'll actually ask for him? I think you're probably looking in the region of 50 to 60 million because they know they can get a good price out of United, and they know that for sure. But if we're going to be spending 50 to 60 million, I would much rather we spent 60 to 70, 75 million on Christopher Nkunku. And that's a personal preference. Just in terms of their qualities overall and the gaps I think we will have in this squad and the strength in depth I believe that we need. Ricky, you're saying 60. Simon, so are you. 50, 60, 72, says Vidash. 45. I mean, you wish, Baz. There's no way we're going to get him there. I know he can play across the whole front line, but he does typically play on the right wing. He really does. That really is his position. And he can play on the left, and there is versatility there, but not compared to Nkunku, not compared to playing centrally. And we need somebody there to play centrally. He cost a lot of money, man. He would cost a lot of money. And I don't know. I'm looking at the idea of Frankie de Jong. I'm looking at the idea of Urian Timber, the idea of a central defensive midfielder that's far more important to Manchester United than someone like Anthony on the right wing. It's about sorting that spine. Everything through the middle needs strengthening. And Anthony, I think, will be a great... Let's see how this one develops. It's obvious that United are in for Anthony. Everything that's happened over the last couple of days has definitely shown us that we are in for Anthony. I just don't know whether at 60 million that will be the right investment. And if we do sign Anthony at that price, then Manchester United will really be backing Ten Hag and trusting Ten Hag with that spot there. Let me go down here and read a few more of your comments out. You would personally prefer Rafinha. It looks like Rafinha might be going Barca if they can. I keep seeing about Barca getting linked to 50 million bid for Lewandowski and extra. It's like, you haven't got any money, guy. You're like, it's like linking me with a £1 million Ferrari. I'm not going to get it. I haven't got any money. Good morning to you, Jess. Good morning to you there. Good morning to you, Nonso. Oh, that's a terrible name, isn't it? Let's move on. Does Garnacho get promoted to the first team squad as a regular? I do personally think he will. Hannibal will. Garnacho will. Charlie McNeil, I don't particularly think he will. He is a lethal goal scorer. Only 18. I think he'll probably go into the under-23s a little bit more. But speaking of our squad, right, as I said, there's so many facets to what will make a successful summer for United this year. One of them is getting rid of players. Now, this came out yesterday, right? Nottingham Forest have opened talks with United to sign Dean Henderson on loan. Negotiations are ongoing, and Forest want Henderson. It's now a possibility also considered by the player. And then reports came out later in the day that Henderson's already agreed personal terms with Nottingham Forest. And for me, that makes perfect sense, man. Perfect sense for him to go to Nottingham Forest on loan. Stays in the Premier League, full Premier League season, goes in there with an option to buy. It should be more than 20. By the way, look, 20 million. You see the keeper that City is selling to Southampton. I've never even heard his name. And he's being linked with a 12 to 15 million pound move. Crank that shit up to 30 million. English, Man United, not born and bred, but bred through the academy, 30 million. That's what we should be charging for Dean Henderson, not 20. Ridiculous. But anyway, I don't think we'll be getting that money for our budget this summer, obviously, if it's a year-long loan. But we can't keep Henderson happy in the squad. I don't think anybody will be able to afford his wages and sign him this summer. So the idea of loaning him out with an obligation or an option to buy, it makes sense. And doing that in the Premier League, hell, we can even make a judgment call. Maybe one more year, Dean Henderson plays incredibly well at Nottingham Forest, and there's a conversation to be had. That's what I think. So anyway. So for me, it's a good. Oh, look, Gungshi, my friend. I mean, I'm going to need a lot more for the Ferrari fund. Imagine buying a Ferrari. How rich you have to be to buy a Ferrari. It must be cool. But thank you very much, Gungshi. As always, man, you support the channel. Should have given that to you. Maybe I'll give another one away soon. I probably will. We can charge. Look, Steve down here is saying, look, we can't. I'm going to leave this on screen here and then pull this one up. Athletic. You're saying that we can't charge 30 million for him. Yes, we can. Where is it? Goalkeeper. I'm trying to find this story that was from yesterday. There you go. Pull this one up here. We can't charge that much for him, can we? Right, okay. Anybody know who Gavin Bazunu is? Anybody? Anybody know who Gavin Bazunu is? Anybody? No, you don't. Southampton have completed a deal to sign Gavin Bazunu, which is a deal worth £12 million. The that could rise to 15 million. And you're telling me we can't get more than 20 million for Dean Henderson, who has played in the Premier League, who is an established goalkeeper. Come on. Gavin Bazunu for 12 million. You're telling me we can't get more than 20? Pfft, give over. On loan at Pompey last year. There you go. He's Ireland's number one. Sorry, Gavin. But if City can get 12, 15 million for him, you're telling me we can't get more than 20 million? Give over. Give over. Man United, that's a big facet of Manchester United improving as a football club, getting better money for players we're selling. It's a big reason City can always reinvest. They just got 15 million for him. They're probably going to get, City might get like 150, 200 million this summer from sales. Sterling, Gabriel Jesus, Gavin Bazunu. Great name, by the way. Gavin Bazunu. Absolutely fantastic name. Over 100 million plus they're going to be getting from sales, which they can then reinvest. We've got to do it. We know what we've got to do. Buy Henderson, Pereira, Jones, Martial. We've got to get some money in, man. Crowthan, I see they're joining us. I think you've already been here before, but let me know where you're watching from. I apologise to all Ireland fans. Apparently he's Ireland's goalkeeper. Who knew? Bazunu. Gavin Bazunu is an Irish name. Jeez. That's great. Henderson, easily 35 mil. I personally think Henderson 30 mil. Henderson 30 to 35 mil. Judging by that as a precedent. Now, what a precedent is something that happens, and it gives you an example. When it gets a legal precedent, that's what happens. Something's happened before in court, so you can then go, well, this happened before, therefore it can happen again. And if I'm looking at Gavin Bazunu going for 15 million, then I'm looking at Dean Henderson going for 30 million. Simple as that. Simple as that. Interesting thing about that, Dean Henderson going on loan for a season to Nottingham Forest might implicate what goes on with James Garner, because I think Premier League clubs can make 2 full loans per season, and no doubt Nottingham Forest need to do that. But you've got Simon Stone from the BBC here saying that James Garner is set to remain at Manchester United for at least the first part of pre-season training. He'll be in Erik Ten Hag's squad to tour Thailand and Australia, after which a decision will be made after what happens during the campaign. But if he goes to Nottingham Forest, it means Nottingham Forest have used up both of their loans on 2 Manchester United players. Interesting. Lots and lots of you down here saying, that 20, 30 million, blah, blah, blah. Dean Henderson, English tax, Premier League tax, Man United tax. Let's start fucking adding those taxes on. I don't care what you tell me about the actual value of him. We should be demanding 30. Is that outpricing him from a move? No, Dean Henderson, he will be a top draw goalkeeper for a good amount of years. A good amount of years in the Premier League. And I think 30 mil as a minimum should be asked. It's the wages. We've given him a big... We keep talking about these contracts, and we still haven't completely made our mind up on getting that sorted yet. It has to stop from... Hopefully it stops from the Bruno. I think the Bruno renewal. Now, I know there was some concerns about it. I think it was the right thing to do. And at 240, I think the wages are decent enough. But at the wages of Dean Henderson, you're probably looking at around about 100 grand a week, I think it is. Some clubs won't be able to afford that. Maybe United are going to have to pay part of that. But it's because we gave him a bumper wage to be a number 2, because I don't think we expected him to be a number 2 anymore. We actually expected him to replace David De Gea, and he didn't, because he got COVID. Jibat, you're saying Premier League clubs can't loan 2 players from another Premier League club. Well, there you go. That makes that very easy then. But James Garner, maybe James Garner will stay around. And I'll be honest, I think we could do with that. Again, let me go back to it. Shit the bed. 9 games we've got in October. I think we'll be seeing plenty of minutes for James Garner, plenty of minutes for everybody. And if we thought that the kids were going to play in the Europa League, that guarantees that we're going to be playing the kids in the Europa League. Ronaldo won't even be in the squads, I don't think, for the Europa League. I'd be very, very surprised if he travels. Well, we've got 2 games in September as well. Again, well, there you go. 8th and 15th, what we got here? So we've got 5 games in September, 8th and 15th, which means if Manchester United can go through September and win those first two games in the Europa League, it will give us a little bit of breathing space for that mad October, and an opportunity to see Manchester United just use the kids really in October. Daisy, you think we should 100% keep Ghana? What if Ronaldo wants to win it? Viking Ronaldo wants to win the World Cup. Ronaldo won't give a shit about the Europa League. He won't. He's missed the Champions League. There's no way he cares about that. And one more player to speak about here in terms of exits, Andreas Pereira. We're on a reverse exit right now. Andreas Pereira set to return to Manchester United from Flamengo. No intention to trigger the buy option for 10.5 million euros. God damn it. Decision has been made. Man United will be open to sell Pereira this summer. Anybody want to buy a Pereira? Anybody want to buy a Pereira? We've got a Pereira going. We've got a Jones going. You said you buy Jones, you get a Pereira free. It's easy. It's cheap. It's 2 for a tenner. Got to sell it like a market seller now. My God. Pereira, again, another one of those players who inflated contracts, big wages, players struggled. The only thing we could do was ship him out on loan to Brazil, and we still couldn't sell him on. I think we kind of priced him out there because that's where they came with a decent offer for him. And we were like, nah. And I was like, probably should have just accepted that. But Pereira, need to get rid of him. Jones, need to move him on. As I said, the best case scenario for Phil Jones this season that's just gone was for him to play regular football and not get injured. It's exactly what happened. So Jones is now a sellable player. Got to absolutely make sure we get rid of him. Get rid of Pereira. Get rid of him. In my opinion, get rid of Anthony Martial and get rid of Erik Bailly. I don't think you take too much away from that squad. You could say Anthony Martial could come in. I'll say, yeah, cool. Then Garnacho can come in. I'll say, yeah, cool. Then Charlie McNeil could come in. Don't think Martial... Look, I'm done on Martial. I've kind of made my opinion very clear on that Martial situation. He might come back in and he might be an okay player, and then I'll have to sort of re-engage my relationship as a fan with Martial. Not that sort of relationship, of course. But I just can't be asked. I checked out with him, just like I checked out with Paul Pogba. Look, if anybody's got any questions, fire them in for the next couple of minutes before we end the stream. I will quickly run through the fixtures. For anybody who's just joining in, make sure you subscribe to United People TV. Come on, the community's great. Congratulations, Joseph, by the way. Make sure you DM me and I'll get this shirt sent out to you. And Adrian Wheeler, he exists. I've spoken to Adrian Wheeler. Congratulations to Adrian, who won the 250 quid giveaway, which wasn't given to somebody who sent in a super chat, may I add. Anybody who wants to join, I'm going to be doing more giveaways constantly on our community. So head over to the Telegram and join the community, man. It's amazing what we're doing. And I'm so happy at how the community has grown. It's genuinely grown into an actual community, and it's fucking awesome. But look, let me run through the fixtures quickly for everybody here. If you're just joining in, we start off with Brighton. Then we play Liverpool on the third game. That'll be interesting to see how Erik Ten Hag gets on with that. September with Arsenal, Palace and Leeds before, you know how sometimes they say, oh, that'll be a deal breaker or, you know, that'll define our season. October really will define the season for Manchester United this season. 6 games, 9 games in total with the Europa League games. It's crazy. By the end of October, we really will know what is going on. November, Aston Villa and Fulham. And then December, Nottingham Forest and Wolves. And we all know why that is. It's because the World Cup is there. And, well, there's no games to play. So that means that that's why October's so crazy, and that's why it gets a bit crazy towards April as well. January, Bournemouth, City, and Arsenal, not very good. Let's be honest. Well, not City anyway. February, that's got to be a month where United dominate. Palace, Leeds, Leicester, and Brentford. March, Liverpool away, Southampton at home, Brighton away, after what happened last season. April, my God. Newcastle, Everton, Nottingham Forest, Chelsea, Spurs, and Villa. But look at May. May is a generous little run in there. West Ham, Wolves, Bournemouth, and Fulham. 2 newly promoted teams coming up to finish the season. That's what I think will happen. Well, no, it's not I think will happen. That will happen. But look, today, the big transfer news for today is what we might learn. Frankie de Jong is clearly the #1 target, and it's all gone a bit quiet on the Western Front there. They're going to have that meeting today with the delegates to choose what they're going to be doing financially. That will have a direct impact on Manchester United's ability to sign Frankie de Jong. So hopefully by the end of the day, we've got some real updates on that. And we go down here in the comments. Richie, love the content. Glad to remember. Nice to have you on board there, man. Hopefully we're here today about Barca not bringing in wads of cash. Yeah, by the end of the day, we'll sign Frankie de Jong. We'll get a fee agreed for Yuri and Timber. We'll even put Anthony in the back of the net. Why not? All by the end of the day. United season could be over by October. I mean, it might. I don't think it's an over-exaggeration to say, probably is an over-exaggeration to say the season will be over by the end of October, but if we don't navigate that period correctly with so many fixtures, we're just going to be chasing the tails of top 4 by the end of October. Jeez. That's what I think so anyway. Maybe, of course, I forgot about the FA Cup final, the Champions League final. It may be a great month for us. Great month for us. But look, thank you very much, everyone, for joining in today. I've really enjoyed that. We got through the fixtures. We ran through it all together. As I said, congratulations to Joseph for winning this. I've got lots of these to give away on the channel. I've got 10 sitting under my desk. I've been generous because I like giving back to the community. But Joseph, congratulations to you. Make sure you slide into my DMs, mate, and I'll get that sent out to you. Thank you, everybody else who joined in. Liverpool in the third game. Tough, but Brighton to open the season. Yes, please. Let's see what goes on apart from October. I'm already not looking forward to October. And I don't even know who've even got the squad yet, let alone the injuries. But look, thank you very much for joining in, everyone. I will have a video out by lunchtime today. I think I might do something on an overall feeling I've got about Ten Hag and the Glazers of Man United, but I'm not quite sure yet. But you'll find out at lunchtime. Take it easy, everyone. Have a good day.